New York City Mission Society.
New York City Mission Society. Hi guys, back in Italy and everywhere else on planet Earth. We're here today at 42nd and Lenox, where the old Cotton Club was a long, long time ago. And basically this is a building that was built in 1965, I think, and we just arrived because we wanted to take a photo of where the original Cotton Club was. So we've done that, but we walked inside and we found out that this is in fact the same space. This is a new building. The original Cotton Club building isn't here anymore. And then this gentleman here, George Lucas, yes, George Lucas, very kindly agreed to talk to us about what this building is today. And it's a mission, basically. And George, tell us about what you do here.
All right, so I'm an alumni of the New York City Mission Society. The Mission Society was started in 1812. It's actually the oldest social service agency in New York State. It was started as a gathering of Protestant churches here in New York, and their organizers saw that there was a need in the different communities, and through a network of the Protestant churches in lower Manhattan and then spread to northern Manhattan, sought to bring together some services for the various communities that the churches served. And that was going on up until the late 1800s. Then the organization sort of transformed formally to a full-fledged social service agency, and dealt with a number of issues, homeless services, after-school programs. There was a camp in the Shalonga Mountains, which is kind of the point where Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York meet. That was Camp Menacing, which is where this building actually gets its name from. The name of Menacing Townhouse. The original townhouse was actually a townhouse. It's still standing at 346 Convent Avenue. It's a brownstone townhouse, however the real estate agents want to define it. And the programs in that building grew to such a size that the organization sought a new site and new building and sought funding and so on during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and finally moved here to 142nd Street and Lenox Avenue.
Tell me, was this building, this new building, built specifically for the Mission Society, or was it already built and then the Mission Society rented or whatever?
No, it was built by and for the Mission Society to house a number of the supporting programs for the campers outside of the summer and spring camping season. So the camping program was primarily developed to take kids from the inner city and get them out, out into the suburbs and fresh air and so on, way before a lot of the open air programs were started. This was in 1923 or 1929. So the Menacing Townhouse on Common Avenue was sort of the administrative offices for that camp. And then the programs and so on.
So it sounds like that, so we don't know if the Cotton Club, the original building here, was torn down specifically to build this new building, or whether there were two separate...
That's information I actually don't know. I know the Cotton Club was not in operation at that time. It hadn't been in operation for years, but the building was built here for Mission Society and for the services. Can
I ask you, this is probably the final question, but we saw in one of the other rooms, there are kids playing. There's a lot of activities for the society, exactly what the mission does. But has Lindy Hop entered? Is it one of your? Is it one of the things that you were instilling in the kids in Harlem at the moment?
Well, there is a big ballroom dance movement that is moving and finding space within the Harlem community, not only here at Menacing Townhouse, but there's also a program at the Kennedy Center, which is not too far down. So there is a movement. The Mission Society is always open to new dance and whatever the kids are into and whatever will focus the kids. So it's definitely something that the Mission Society here at New York City Mission at the Menacing Townhouse would be open to. Just a quick note: we recently acquired our new president and CEO. And Elsa McCabe Thompson. So she, I believe, officially started this week So you may see a number. You will see a number of great and innovative programs coming out of New York City Mission Society over the next couple of years.
That's great. 2 nights ago, we had just arrived on Wednesday night, very tired, but we decided to come to Harlem anyway.
Thank you.
It was great. And we were on 135th Street,
okay.
And we were there with the Harlem Swing Dance Society,
okay.
if I haven't got the name incorrect. And we talked to Virgie branch there,
okay.
And so they're running Lindy Hop, and they're trying to get a Lindy Hop revival back into Harlem. Right. So it's kind of interesting.
Right.
So it could
yes.
be interesting.
Yes. There are a lot of flyers. There are a lot of opportunities. Like I said, here the Kennedy Center on 135th Street, and I believe there are a few other centers that that offer classes and there are revivals and it's a whole movement that's going on, and it's a great thing. It's a great throwback to to the original Harlem and to what Harlem was.
It's great. And you mentioned it just a few minutes ago when we saw each other. But myself and Alice, what we've discovered is that the Savoy, which we took a picture of just a few minutes ago, is literally like 5 blocks away. I mean, 400 meters less of a walk. So to think of these, the Cotton Club and the Savoy, so close together, it must have been just fantastic for people to go out all the time,
right?
And to have this choice.
Right.
For some people, a choice, because I think this was whites only, the Cotton Club.
This was whites only, but it was still in Harlem. It was something that the Harlem community, definitely took pride in. A lot of our artists performed there. And it was pride. It was whites only, and it was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But it was something that we took pride in because we birthed our greatest artists in these types of settings.
Absolutely. Instead, the Savoy was mixed.
The Savoy was mixed to Rennie, which is on 138th, I believe, and 7th Avenue, which is now Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. And that building is still actually standing. There's some redevelopment in the works there, the Renaissance. So, there's still a few ballrooms and still a few, the essence is there. Also, the Alhambra is on 126th Street. That's a big renovated ballroom that's there as well.
Right, we might just go down there after for a photo.
Good.
George, do you spell George Lucas exactly the same?
Exactly the same. I'm actually George Lucas the 5th, and my son is the 6th. So we're a long line of George Lucases, and we're Star Wars fans.
Well, that's important.
That's a good thing.
The 5th, the 6th, and so on.
The legacy continues.
Thanks so much for taking your time out.
Thank you. And feel free to look around and take pictures. Make sure you run into Courtney Bennett. He's the director.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.